All right, here we go on this Monday night. Yes, let me check actually all our devices. I think our sound should be okay. We're going to talk about a couple different things tonight. I know some people are anxiously awaiting this. Obviously, we'll give you the latest on Kylie. There's now a vigil planned. I haven't seen anyone else with information on it, but we started sharing it. It's on all of our platforms, and we'll continue to put it out there, and I'll give some more details on it. Here we go. Yep. We started sharing. Now there is X. I'm pretty certain YouTube is fine. Let me just double check. We'll double check Facebook just in case. Yes. Yep. Let me just write that. Do you believe her? What do you the drunken Newport thing is just, I mean, it's so embarrassing. I don't know her. I don't think I know her. I don't think I know either one. It is yeah, it's so ridiculous. It's so embarrassing. If I had had more time, I would have loaded it up and we could watch it, but we're alive and we do have it. It's on depetro.com. Let me just double check. There I am. And the audio is fine. Okay, so we're going to begin in just a moment. Because there is, again, I want to walk through. Yes, I'm hearing from everybody. There is, listen, there's different levels. It's not that I'm not sympathetic when someone has someone missing. And I'm dealing with other people that apparently have family members, friends. But you got to realize, there's Linda. Yes. I know. Isn't that terrible? The footage of the friend who, by the way, she's got a good job too, or had. The friend works, I saw it at PepsiCo in New York, or did. Where is she? There she is. Veronica Hannon. There she is. I'll show part of the video. We could show part of the video. It's so embarrassing. And then there is, all they had to do was walk away. Clark Cook. I like Clark Cook a lot. And like a lot of people. And the last thing they wanted was to have to call the police. That's number one. The second thing they didn't want, all they wanted them to do was leave. I heard they shut them off. The one that works or worked at the AG's office was making a huge deal. It's to the point. Listen, if you're a bar owner, the last thing you want to do is have to call the police. So Clark Cook is Garney. Awesome is what I meant. And so they didn't want to have to do that. What? Hardly. Opposite. You know what the Newport police wanted? Just walk away. You were asked to disperse them. Two drunks. Just walk away. I agree. What? I don't know what the guys were doing. There was one guy, all right, now we're going to talk. Just walk down the street. Maybe try to get a coffee. Maybe it's time to go to bed. Whatever. But the two of them, let me, do not buy again, I apologize. I don't have it loaded in. But folks, it has been such a busy day. And I know people, we can show it this way. This isn't the best way to show it, but yeah, we can see it.
So they want you guys to leave? Yes, we're not. Let's just leave. Let's just make it easy, okay? Make it easy. That's not the point. Can you look at me? We'll talk over here, okay? Your protocol is... Can we all talk? Can we all talk? Talk over here. They want you to leave. Your protocol is... Can we talk?
Just leave. What do you mean talk? There's no need to talk. Just leave.
Our college friend. Yes. No, I'm not. you guys just want to know? Do you want to trespass? Anything we can do. Trespass, yeah. I just need trespass.
Just get him out of here. Hi there, Jessica.
No, I'm not.
That's right, Catherine. Just leave. Hi there, Gina.
I know that your protocol is. So you're trespassing, so we gotta leave now.
Right.
Unless you want to be there.
We're not
That's it.
trespassing. You haven't notified us that we're
You
trespassing.
guys are
Number one.
trespassing.
Number
I just
two.
say to you. You're trespassing. Let's go.
Number one.
I don't
Number
want to
two.
arrest you guys.
You're not gonna arrest us. Number two
So let's
is
leave.
that
We gotta go.
Just leave.
we ask you to
I
turn
don't
the
want.
body
I don't
cam
want to
off.
deal with this. Let's
Okay.
go.
No, I understand you don't want to deal with it, but the protocol is, and your protocol is if I ask you to turn off the body cam, you have to turn it off, and that's your protocol. She's a fucking lawyer, so she knows.
Oh,
Well, that's bullshit lawyer stuff.
wow. See, that's where it turns.
It is. That's law.
Miss PepsiCo.
I'm an AJ.
Good for you. I don't give a shit. Let's go.
Good. I love that.
Let's go. We're leaving.
Please don't put your hands on us.
Can you get your
Just leave.
I'm sorry, what?
Let's go.
Just leave.
I'm an 18. What are you problem?
I know, Michelle. Just leave. This Henry B. I'm an AG. Hi, Ashley. I know, Joe Rowe.
I'm an 18.
You're not. She's not being arrested. Let's go.
I'm not being arrested. You're putting me in cuffs. I'm not being
Do you have any
arrested.
weapons on you?
No, I'm an 18. You're literally arrested. Let me tell you something. You're arrested.
Just leave.
You're arrested an 18. Let me tell you something.
Are you under arrest right now? No.
You're putting me in handcuffs and you're Mirandizing. You're not Mirandizing me.
Relax. Relax.
Listen to this. Listen what she says.
Buddy, you're gonna regret this. You're gonna regret it. I'm an 18.
Yeah, we'll see who regrets it. She should be fired. Now, watch the friend.
Get your fucking hands off me.
How? This is Miss PepsiCo.
Get back right now. Get back.
Oh, I have 3 kids. Well, then why are you acting like that?
Yep.
Drunken, absolute. Yeah, I'm an AG. Belinda, you just leave. See how, folks, it's not easy to handcuff someone. Garney, all they had to do was walk away. She's not an assistant. That's not true. She's an ASA. She's an foul. That's wrong. No caller ID. Look at this. I can't believe people already put out misinformation. She's not an assistant. She's an assistant attorney general. This one, Miss PepsiCo. Watch this. Protest. You start, Mary. We'll follow you. A protest? Miss PepsiCo. Oh my God. How embarrassing. Listen to that. Taser. He should be embarrassed. Mary, what are you talking about?
So, no one trespass.
I agree with the cop. Now, folks, I want to just remind people, okay? Now, we have information to get to. Yeah, no class at all. You remember, you stop persisting. You don't have to comment. I want to repeat that. You know, right now we're live on X and we're live on YouTube and Facebook. I just want to remind people, you don't have to comment. You could just watch. But if you comment, you put yourself out there that it then can be questioned. It is insane. So, you know, and then I always have a choice. I know, but Mary, does it seem as if that carries? As if so I was being sarcastic. I have no, that's about, like, don't be. Here's what I think you should do. Just don't comment for the rest of the night. I'm only going to have for a short time. Like, that doesn't go anywhere. It's not funny. Oh, we're supposed to be able to tell you're being sarcastic. I have no idea what you're talking about. Shut this off. All right. That is the Newport situation. I can already see people. What did they do? Well, at the very beginning of the video, they got called. It's on depetro.com. They got called to go to Clark Cook. Hi there, Richard. And they, you know, I don't know. I mean, is someone surprised? Would you want them in your bar or restaurant? What did they do? They were falling down drunk and obnoxious drunk. And you can tell that the blonde, the one in the red dress, that, you know, police didn't want to have to deal with that. But let's wait and, oh my God. Mary, let's make that one of those nights. I'm here every night, mostly do not comment. Let's stay consistent. So there they are, the two of them. So the one in red works at the Attorney General's office. She's not an assistant. So you have the Attorney General, and then you have all these other attorneys that are basically referred to as ASAs, Assistant Attorney Generals, but not an assistant. I know. Have to deal with idiots. Do they subscribe to be difficult? I don't know. It is a problem. And I try to get through it. And I try to, when I mention someone, I'm giving them a warning. But a lot of people just keep digging. So, and it does become annoying. It does become distracting. So I try to say, just like, I don't even know what that means. Why are the protests? Why aren't they protesting? I don't even know who she's talking about. Yeah, that's right. So now the one in red is Devin Hogan. She gave, I think, her maiden name. Her married name, I believe, is Flanagan. But the other one is Veronica Hannon. And she's the one, I need to update this, but she works at PepsiCo. So that video we have up on depetro.com. So, and the thing is, you know, it is a while, and that video is just everywhere. I think this video could take off for a variety of different reasons. I don't know if it's going to take off like the Coldplay video, but two entitled females I know, sun cruisers, I don't know what they were drinking or having, but, you know, from what I understand, what I was able to learn, Clark Cook, which for those that are unfamiliar, but it's one of my favorite places in Newport. It's one of the nicest places in Newport. This isn't the Landing. It's not O'Brien's. This is, I know. All they had to do, obviously, they were then shut off from what I heard, and that's when then it started. And the restrooms, for those of you that know Clark Cook, you know, you have to like go upstairs, and there's different levels. And of course, can you imagine those two trying to navigate? They were like falling around. Hi there, Kara. So it was very problematic. But in the very beginning of the video, when the police go over to the maitre d', the people outside of Clark Cook, they say anything, just get them out of here. So, you know, they're used to people drinking. They're used to people being on vacation. But a lot of times also, they're more kids come down on a Saturday or Sunday, groups of kids, Bannister's Wharf, that whole area. Sometimes they deal with bachelorette parties that they all march around. You know, the girl that's engaged is then wearing the bachelorette thing. So it's not as if Newport doesn't deal with drunks. And the Newport police that I talk to, unfortunately, a lot of times that's a lot of who they deal with. But these are professional women, or were. And it's just so, the one in the red is, right, that's what I'm saying, Michelle. But she's not an attorney general. She's actually not. She is, I could get her exact title. You know, I like Newport, but I think this could take off. There she is. She was just part of Leadership Rhode Island. So, and I say was. I am curious to see Devin Flanagan. She is, hold on, I just had it, but she is at the AG's office, but her saying I'm an AG, she's actually not the AG. It is confusing for people that watch the video like that. I know, Joanne, it's taken off. I saw it on Twitter today. You'll regret this video. We'll see who regrets it. Special Assistant Attorney General. So, for instance, and again, I'm not trying to nitpick, but so here is her LinkedIn page. And that's what they call it, Special Assistant Attorney General. So when someone said she's an assistant at the Attorney General's office, that's just not accurate. So that's not accurate. That is, she's an attorney. And, you know, the one that then kind of upped the level of it with, she's a fucking like that. You know what? Let me replay it, actually. I think I could even play it off the iPad, which would be even bigger. So they're so out of control and obnoxious. And I also want to mention whoever, it's on the website, whoever the men, I think one of the guys is a husband. I don't know if the other one's married. I don't know where her husband was, but no one could step in to just say, like, we're leaving. Let's go over here. We're leaving. Okay, this is even better. I'll show it again. And I'll show at least the beginning where they walk up to the, it started with that.
So they want you guys to leave?
Yes, we're gonna leave.
Let's just leave. Let's just make it easy,
We're
okay?
gonna make it easy. But I want you to, that's not.
I'm arrested.
Hi there, Christy.
Yeah, we'll talk over here, okay?
Your protocol is.
Can we all talk? Can we all talk?
Talk over here. They want you to leave.
Your protocol is.
Can we talk?
Just leave. Can we talk? See, he's part of the problem, that guy.
Was that?
No, nothing.
She is our college friend.
That guy, he seems loaded.
No, I'm not.
All you,
Just wanna know
here it is.
trespass, anything we can do. Trespass, yeah. I just need trespass. Gotta go.
Get them out of here.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I know that your protocol
Hi
is.
there, Lisa.
Trespass, so we gotta leave now. Unless you wanna be there.
We're not trespassing. You haven't notified us that we're trespassing.
You
Number
guys
one.
don't
Number
trust me. What did I
two.
just say to you?
You're
Trespass. Let's go.
number one.
I don't
Number
want to
two.
arrest you guys.
You're not gonna arrest us. Number two
So let's
is
leave.
that
We gotta go. We
your
gotta go.
protocol is to
Let's
delete
go.
them down for 1 second. We ask you to
I
turn
don't
the
want
body
to
cam
deal
off.
with this. Let's
Okay, no, I understand you don't want to deal with it, but the protocol is, and your protocol is,
Oh
if I
my
ask you to turn off
God.
the body cam, you have to turn it off, and that's your protocol. She's a fucking lawyer.
Whoa.
Well, that's bullshit lawyer stuff, so that's not true. So we gotta go.
No, it is. That's law. I'm an
What
AG.
you think?
I'm an AG.
Good for you. I don't give a shit. Let's go. We're going.
Love the cop.
Excuse.
We're leaving.
Please don't put your hands on us.
Can you get your children out of here? Like, I don't know why.
I'm sorry. What?
Let's go.
That's not a problem.
No.
Let's go.
They're two full-grown women and mothers.
They're two full-grown women and mothers.
I'm an AG. I'm an AG. What are you
What's wrong with you?
You're being detained because you're not.
What's wrong with you?
Sir, she's not doing anything wrong.
AG. I'm an AG.
She's an AG.
Shut up.
She's not being arrested. Let's go.
I'm not being arrested. You're putting me in cuffs. I'm not being
Do you have any
arrested.
weapons on you?
No. I'm an AG.
Her badge is in the car. You want to go get a badge?
Let me tell you something. You're
Look,
arrested.
get the hell out of here. What are you seriously?
You're arresting an AG. Let me tell you something.
You want to arrest her? No.
You're putting me in handcuffs and you're Mirandizing. You're not Mirandizing me.
Relax. Relax.
Terrible. Absolutely disgraceful. The two of them. The other one should get fired from Pepsi. Wow. What a jerk. You're going to regret it. She's got to go. Hi there, Tracy.
She's getting
No. Get the license.
Get out of here. Get back right now. Get back.
The men were useless. Hi there, Brandy.
Get back.
Great job by Newport Police.
Yep.
Right here. It's okay. I'm right here. No. I'm right here.
The guys are so weak.
I'm right here. Come on, Dave.
Babe,
Dave, I'm right here.
that's right, Robin.
Please, I'm scared.
I'm right here.
Please don't do this.
I'm right here.
No, I'm not going to find you.
I'm right here. Okay.
No, please don't do this to my friend.
I'm right here.
Hi there, Mandy.
Babe,
I'm right here.
babe,
I'm right here.
no, babe.
Relax.
Carol, how embarrassing.
What's wrong with you?
Relax.
We don't want to put you in handcuffs. Let's go. Let's go.
No, babe.
You're overreacting.
You're adding charges.
Overreacting.
What a jerk.
No. Please take my friend up.
The one in the white was worse. Yes.
No, please take my friend up.
They should be fired from Pepsi.
No. Babe, no.
What a blackout drunk. I'm right here. Oh my God. How embarrassing.
Get your feet in the car.
Use the taser. Taser. Listen to that.
Get your feet in the car. Get your feet in the car. You're a grown adult. You're acting like a kid.
Terrible.
So, no one would trespass.
Wow. Folks, Newport Police. Huge respect. Putting up with that foolishness. Wow. You watch. This is going to rock it. Doing, acting entitled. That's right, Paige. I can't even imagine, Ann. So we're going to find out. So right now, as far as we know, they're both employed. Now, Attorney General Peter Nerona, we'll see what happens with his office. Pepsi is a different deal, but do you notice now who can tell me what was the last? She'll be working for a creamery, Chuck. There's Tracy Montero. Now, who can tell me this is going to be the summer of the white entitled, because who is it that the mob went after just a couple weeks ago? Who will be the first one to comment? Maybe I should start to do prizes in the chat. Everyone knows it, rocketed everywhere. I'll say this though, the couple involved, they've been laying low and you haven't heard anything. So, but I think this could be the follow-up to this. Just white, I'm not trying to say white entitled, but it definitely stands out. And professional women. That's right, Stephanie. Who was it earlier in the summer that then took off? I'll give it 10 more seconds and then I'll just answer it myself. Total hag bags, Brandy. Yep. Hi there, Jay. The answer is, I can't believe no one's getting it. And the key to the rescue. One more minute. No one? I'll give you a hint. It happened at Coldplay. Thank you, Ann Marshall. Yes. And one of the reasons the Coldplay couple rocketed was because people talked about resentment towards, yes, she's got it. It's the Coldplay because people resent CEOs in the way that rocketed and took off. All right. So that is the Newport couple. Again, if you want to see the video, I do have it up on the website, depetro.com. Now, we do have some news. And Marshall got it. I know. Man, it's almost as if she was in labor. Babe, I'm right here. I'm right here. I don't know who those guys were. I mean, earlier, all someone had to say was, wait a minute, they're calling the police. That's it. We're out of here. How many times, well, I don't know how many, I shouldn't say it that way. Many times when I've ridden with police, they'll by the time we show up somewhere, they already were dispersed. That's all they were looking for. Can you disperse these people? And I'm sure, again, as I said, I'm sure Clark Cook, they don't want to have to call the police. No bar owner wants to call the police. If you're running a bar restaurant, you don't want to call the police. Police are bad for business. You don't want them outside. You don't want anything like that. Someone's like, let's have another round. They see the police. They're like, oh, on second thought, forget it. So they don't want to do that. But then you look at them. You can't talk to them. You can't reason with them. Where I think she's really in trouble is throwing around the Omni AG. Not good. Now, the Pepsi one, the second one, who I agree was worse, screaming like that. How embarrassing, humiliating. Pepsi's a private company. So, they have to decide whether or not, not asking, telling you she is too the special. Yeah. I don't know what that means. Not asking, telling you she is too. No, I know that, A. Sullivan. There was someone saying she's an assistant at the Attorney General's office. And I'm saying she's not an assistant. She's an assistant attorney general, not an assistant at the office. When I hear an assistant at the office, you don't call them that anymore, but I think of someone more in what used to be known as a secretarial role. So that's not her. She's an assistant attorney general. That's all I was trying to clarify. So not asking, telling you she is too this. Yeah, I know that. I don't know. Who knows? All right. Now, any other comments on this before we move into Kylie? I don't know why people would be texting. Why does someone need to send me a message right now? I don't know. What would be so important? Okay. Now, folks, remember, not to name names, Lynn Miller, but if you say something while we're live, I would then be inclined to stop and check it. State worker charged with stealing tax payments. Okay. All right. Thank you for that. I don't think it's as good as the Newport thing. So that could have waited, right? That could certainly have waited. I don't know if I needed that right now. Not sure why somebody thinks something like that. Okay, and then we'll get to that. Let me check one more. Yes. Okay, so there will be a vigil. There will be. Where's Emily Lindsay? She was asking, going live tonight. So we are. Here come the questions. Turn off the body cam. That's right, Bendy. All right. Well, I mean, the Newport thing is the Newport thing. There's two things. There's really only one element of this that we're waiting to find out, and that's going to be what's going to happen to her at Attorney General Peter Narota's office. I think because this is so big and has rocketed, I think he doesn't have any choice but to terminate, but we'll wait and see. Now, the latest on Kylie. So let me pull up the photo. I know people during the course of the day put in any update. Maybe people don't believe me. I promise you, if I had any type of update on little Kylie, that I'm not withholding information. Without, I would post it. Okay, that's not the best. I have a better shot of her. I know I'm the one that put it up there, but I do want to get to, so the vigil is going to be this Saturday night. People were asking, is there going to be a vigil? There is going to be a vigil, and it's going to be Saturday night. I did post information on the page, 7 o'clock in Rehoboth, and we will be promoting it quite a bit from, I mean, it's Monday night, and so between, yeah, that picture's fine. Now, this is Rhode You really think termination? He has terminated people in the past, Shirley. Let me qualify. That's what I'm basing it on. In the past, Gina Raimondo had a zero tolerance policy, and then Attorney General Peter Narota has fired people for this type of behavior. So, but we'll see. It's Monday night. They said they want to look it over. We'll find out. Don is planning on going. So, but we're going to have to wait and see on that. So the vigil will be this Saturday night. Now, I recognize, and people are wondering what's going on. There is a danger here. And the danger is, and this can be challenging. What can be challenging is going to be how they keep Kylie, who's missing, in the news. And it's not as easy as people think it is. And, admittedly, we want to stay with the story, but it passes without an update. People's attention goes to other stories, such as look at the Newport situation with that. I don't know if he's getting pressure, Lisa, but he is term limited out. But I don't think he would. I think if somehow there's something like this had happened, it was a little more private, maybe you don't, but this is so visible. In this video, it just came out. This could end up rocketing. I think it could force his hand. But let's talk about little Kylie right now. And that is, so, we're on Wednesday night. Right now it's Monday night. So we're about to hit the 2-week period of the last time she was seen. And obviously, as I was trying to explain earlier today, Massachusetts State Police and also the Rehoboth Police, they've done a lot of searching. Massachusetts State Police have gone all in on this. I know, Amanda, and here's the problem. As each day, that's right, Stephanie, but Amanda's right. As each day passes, yes, it starts to fade. And so the challenge becomes to keep it alive. Now, I've dealt with psychics in the past. I have. And I've had several reach out to me. I'm not there yet. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm not saying I'm not opposed to it. I've used it. I mean, last night I was talking pretty highly about Ladybug. However, a problem with some of these psychics is, especially LB, quite frankly, is they're not easy to deal with. They're high maintenance to deal with. They're very high maintenance to deal with. And it's not one communication. It's constant messages. Jane Rice knows what I'm talking about. Communication. No new updates, the news gets cold. Yes, but that doesn't mean that we don't know what gains they've made, meaning the police. Now, and I caution the family, and I'm glad Kitty came on with us. We shall see. Send me another message on her. It's got to be the right type of person. I want to tell you, I'll share with you guys my fear a little bit with some of the psychics is I heard from several of them and they were all saying the same thing and it wasn't good news. And I think that's a lot so early on for the family. You know, we just had Kitty on last night and they're still hopeful in saying that she's alive. Jane Rice knows. You know, Jane, I today I remembered why I haven't used Ladybug. Because after about the 10th text, you're like, oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about this part of it. I don't have the patience for that type of. I'm like, this is it. Let's circle back in 2 days. And then the volume just starts. So again, I'm not ruling it out. But I think it's a little early. And quite frankly, like I've said, the whole element of a psychic, to me, that is when the case has really run dry. Absolutely. And you're just not sure where to go with it. And I'm not convinced that, the police are there. And in a sensitive way, folks, it can be tough. Yes, well, I will, Shirley. It can be, listen, it's tough for the family. That the family, I agree, Stacy. Stacy's right. It's difficult for the family if then there's a stranger saying, "Oh, I had a vision and your loved one is no longer alive." That's not easy to listen to. So, and they tend to just they just throw it out there. So I don't think we're there yet, but I think I know it's frustrating. Nancy Grace. I don't, her name gets thrown out. I'm not knocking that, Lisa Cooper, and I'm not shooting down anything, but I don't know. I mean, it's a missing person. What is Nancy Grace? What's Nancy Grace going to do that isn't being done right now? I've worked with Nancy, by the way. I've been on different shows with her, but again, people have contacted her in the past. Anyone is absolutely free to contact her. But you got to realize someone like that is being contacted by people all over the country. So I'm just hesitant. This is a raw situation. We're dealing with, family members here. And it's and it's just I don't think we're there yet. So hi there, Jessica Perry. There she is. It's your last resort worth a try. I'm not sure we're at last resort just yet. That's the thing, Catherine. So right now, I will answer that. I like Nancy. I like her a lot. I'm just not sure where that would go. Again, Stacy, you're more than free to contact her. But just know, get in line. Because she's being contacted by a lot of different people. Lynn asked an interesting question. Is the BF boyfriend going to work and going about this normal everyday business? Well, that I don't know, Greg. I don't know that. Lauren Crime had a segment of Kylie. That's positive. So right now, just to remind people, this is a missing persons case. There is no suspect and no person of interest. The vigil this Saturday night, Vigil of Hope, that we even named it. I think Lynn Miller even suggested that. It doesn't mean a lot of people think of a vigil, candlelight vigil for someone that's passed away, but it can be just to send out vibes to the person that people care about them. I'm a little more, people were commenting on the photo of Greg in the woods holding a metal pipe. I have that photo. I think I have it on DePietro.com. I don't know what to make of it. I don't know. Like I said, there's so much we don't know. I tend to follow the statistics. A lot of times it's there's a lot at play here. There's a lot at play. And I'm not convinced that everyone knows maybe the reason why. Yes, that's right, Heather. Vigil of Hope. I don't think everyone fully understands why police keep their cards kind of close to the vest. Because as I've said, and I don't think people get that, but people change their story. A good example was the very recent Karen Reed trial. That the more she learned, she kept changing her story. The first thing Karen Reed said was, I think he got hit by a plow. And then she was told, no, we saw you in front of the house. And then she didn't know what to say. And then she said, Colin Albert probably killed him. And then they said, well, no, we did data. He wasn't on the street at the same time. And then she said, well, then the others killed him in the basement. And then they figured out, well, no, because the temperature on his phone kept dropping, but not enough that if he was inside of a house, it would have been warmer. And then she said, well, then it was the garage. Do you see? Like they just keep, it's like I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 100, and they just keep guessing numbers. So that's one of the reasons why police would like to try to, if possible, certain key people here, kind of get them locked in. Yes. That is exactly right, Cindy Ott. It is. Now, that's right. Never called 911. Well, there's a lot of things. And I don't want to spiral this in because then you bring in all those people that thought it was perfectly normal that a group of people with no motive and no murder weapon decided to take the life of a fellow officer and then to throw him on the front lawn. I mean, it's just so preposterous, but people believed it. There are still people that believe it. But anyhow, let's talk about Kylie. So I want to address, that's not a bad thing about the, that's right. She did say that, Joanne. So where is Rehoboth Police searching right now? They don't reveal that type of thing, Paige. They don't reveal that. I did post it. Thank you, Robin. Where is Rehoboth Police searching now? Well, right now, they've done a lot of searching. And I think it's not like they're not working on the case. I just don't know how much more of that area they need to search. They did very extensive searches in that area on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That was 3 days of searches. So it doesn't mean they wouldn't search again, but you got to realize when you get certain things that you feel are evidence, and again, I want to be very clear. These are just things I've learned by covering investigations, specifically missing person. And then you need time to process it all. So, they're building and working on what they think could be a working theory. They're chasing down different leads, but they're certainly not going to share all of that. We know they've searched the reservoir. We know that they've searched around the property. Supposedly they searched on the property, part of the property. So it's Sandra, they to be honest with you, they're just a little casual about it. They're just a little casual about it. Just like quick, this is what I think. And I'm not, listen, if I bring on a psychic, I can't control what they're going to say. And I'm trying to be sensitive to the family. If someone who has no skin in the game just comes on and says, something that may or may not be true, but certainly would be tough news to hear. I also disagree with people that say, well, anything a psychic learns should be brought to the police. Listen, the police are perfectly capable. They're watching this right now they've watched all our videos. They are monitoring my pages, which is totally fine. They have a lot of people working on this case. So, okay. No, Paige, don't take it the wrong way, but it just reaches a point of, is it a needle in a haystack? Of is that the right place to be searching? Is that the best? Let me phrase it this way: is that really the best use of resources? Is probably a better way to phrase it. And I think they're trying to get a handle on it. They know more than they did a week ago. I think this week they're going to learn some more things. I had conversations today with some people that potentially are involved in the case. But let's look at, have an adult conversation. Drove through Central Falls today, didn't see anyone like Kylie. I don't think you would, Ashley Ann. I don't think you would. Oh yeah, Brandy, that was done like the first day. So, do you think he's still working at? I don't know what that means, Jane. Guys, again, maybe it can be a needle in a haystack, believe me. And I've learned. I was part of 3 searches, then we found out. It's like, why were we doing that? Thank you, Sandy. But let's look at what we have, right? Because there is info there. And I try to explain to people. People say, well, the police aren't saying anything. The police are saying a lot. The police, for those who want to pay attention, are screaming at the top of the mountain. The police are showing their cards. The police are revealing a lot of what they think about the case and what they believe. But without knowing the individual, and I want to be very clear, Greg Groom, who we believe is the father of the child, he has not been charged with anything. He has not been named a suspect. He has not been named a person of interest. So there's that. But for those that follow situations like this, many times when someone disappears or has tragically run into foul play, it is there's a couple of things. Number one, who's the last one that saw that person alive? Who's the last one that saw that person alive? There's also Jane Rice. Do you think, Jane, I'm kind of answering that. Why would he not be working there? He hasn't been accused of anything. I have no idea. I don't know if he's upset, so he's calling in sick, or I don't know if he's going to work as planned. I don't have a handle on that. Do I think someone is still going to work? I don't know. Nothing has changed. There'd be no reason not to. There'd be no reason not to. He's not accused of anything, not a suspect, not named a person of interest. He's the one that called it in. But what I want to focus on is, and again, the vigil is this Saturday night, 7:00. I will have more information on it. So, but things to look at, and this is what I look at. And, I'll share this with you. So July of 23, 2 years ago, more than 2 years ago now, someone presented to me the Karen Reed case, the Karen Reed story, supposedly. And guilty until proven innocent. It comes down to, and here's what I look at, and some of you may know and other people won't, but it's motive means an opportunity. Motive means an opportunity. Whenever I'm looking at a case, and I did post this on the subscriber page, it's motive means an opportunity. So does someone have a motive? Do they have the means to do it? And do they have an opportunity to do it? So just as an example, when I looked at the Karen Reed case, stick with those 3 things. Maybe I'll type it in. Motive means an opportunity. Meaning, does someone have the means to commit the crime, such as it could be a vehicle, it could be a gun, it could be a sharp object, it could be whatever it is. So, in order to do that, motive means an opportunity. And the reason I mention that is because when I was asking those questions, when the Karen Reed case was presented to me, I said, well, what was the motive? And this was it was being explained to me that he was killed in the basement, right? So what was the motive? Oh, no motive. Well, what did they use? Oh, we don't have a murder weapon. No motive, no. But then what was the opportunity? Well, he was dropped off at the house. So all they had was really opportunity, but then we learned he never went in the house. But anyhow, O.J. Simpson, motive means an opportunity. Motive, he was wildly upset with her. Supposedly she came out of this house with a knife. Confronted, they start fighting. Ron Goldman comes up, and then things go sideways. Motive, he was upset with her, turned into a flamed up situation. Means the knife, I think he stabbed them to death, basically decapitated Nicole. So barbaric. An opportunity, he was there. So a lot of these situations, they're easier if you follow that. Motive means an opportunity, such as Karen Reed. Did she have motive? Yeah, she was angry with him. They were in a fight. He was walking away from her. Did she have the means? She had a 6,000-pound SUV. Did she have the opportunity? He was behind her. Motive means an opportunity. So with this, we don't know motive, but and that is, we don't know. She could still be alive. I want to be very clear about that. And I don't think it's the worst thing to think that. It's still relatively early. There'd certainly be an interesting story behind this, but taken somewhere, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't know her. Or I don't know her, I should say. But you got to look at opportunity, for if Greg is wondering, why are people pointing the finger? Well, motive. A lot of men don't want to have a child. Opportunity. You're the last one with them. The means we don't know, because we don't know if she's alive. We don't know if she is deceased. We don't know. Charlotte Lester. Motive. They were having an explosive fight. He was drunk. She was drunk. Means. He basically beat her to death, as frightening as that is. Opportunity. She was in his house. So, now to me, that stuff makes sense. And I'm unaware. Brian Walsh, going on trial in October. Motive. He was upset that she was going to take the boys and move to D.C. Opportunity. Put the kids to bed. New Year's Eve, just the two of them. He supposedly kills her, dismembers the body. Certainly had the opportunity, alone with her in the house. The three boys were sleeping. And I don't know if we've learned exactly how he killed her. As frightening as that is. I don't even like talking about this stuff, folks, because it's so grim, but it's all part of it. You were so wrong on Karen. You were sure she did it. No, I wasn't wrong on Karen Reed. I wasn't wrong on Karen Reed. She did do it. She got away with it, but I wasn't wrong on it. I don't know what you're talking about. See, there's one of those people. Thank you, Cindy Ott. Okay, I can answer that, Paige. We all hope she's alive. Yes, we do, Carol. Yep. Thank you, Michael. Animals. And I'll scroll back to see other questions. I wasn't wrong on Karen Reed. There's no one else. There's no one investigation. I wasn't wrong on it. I don't want to go down that path, but I wasn't wrong. But they just manipulated the jury. Money, sex, revenge. Haven't heard that. 3 motives for murder. Money, sex, revenge. So that's just motive. Possible. Anger comes in. Anger comes in. Well, but here's the thing, Ron Marshall. You just had someone executed, that 16-year-old kid in Cranston, and it doesn't fall under any of those 3. Not that we know of. So, yes, exactly. Mark Perkins. Motive, unwanted child. Yep. Acreage and pond, secluded area, last person to see her. The farm animals, thank you, Colby, they just raised chickens. They just raised chickens. But I'm glad Paige said that, because this Tommy Bryan, definitely opportunity. Opportunity, last one. Right? Thank you, Janet Dwyer. Karen Reed, he got hit by a snowplow. I can't even, it's just ridiculous. There were a lot of things wrong with that. Thank you, Janet Dwyer. There were a lot of things. We're not going to relive it. There's no point. There's no point. They made a solid case. They had the right person. As Hank Brennan said, the evidence doesn't point to anyone else. I'm not debating it anymore. I listen to people that said, you picked the wrong side. I picked where the evidence led. I mean, and just, I say we're not going to talk about it, then I start talking about it. The defense, what some of her supporters soft pedal is they say to her attorneys, you seem to change strategy, meaning you seem to get away from the fact that you told all of us he was beaten to death in the house. So they didn't even believe it. They switched it to just these experts say blah, blah, blah. And you can get people to do that. But again, all these people, everybody keeping a secret for no reason. Let's just kill this guy. We're going to beat him to death. So ridiculous. But they got away with it. She did, Shirley. She did. Now, she was drunk. I love that. She was drunk. She was wasted. She's a maniac. She is. But anyhow, she's also quiet. She's not saying a word. Not saying a word. But we can't go backwards. It happened. They beat the system. That's it. Can't be tried for that again. So if we move on. I move on to the next story and case. That crowd, they're still in cult land. But getting back to this. So Greg Groom, who I don't know, I'd like to talk to him. I would. Obviously, I don't know him. I have no idea what he's thinking. If he's wondering, him or a friend or a family member, gee, why is everyone pointing the finger at him? Who's the last one with them? Who had opportunity, which is opportunity? We don't know means. We don't know that because she hasn't been found. And that is if we dive into the pool that there was foul play, meaning that she's not going to be found alive. So we don't know, right? What happens then? Not to be gruesome, but we must deal in reality. It goes to the medical examiner, and then they wait to find cause of death, whatever that may be. So that we don't know. Motive. I don't know. I don't know if this is their motive. They weren't even dating anymore. Maybe he didn't want to have a child. Unknown. Maybe he was excited about the child. But he should not be freaked that people are pointing the finger at him because it's very, very common. What did I hear? I remember there was another story in, I can, when a child is gone missing in a family, or if a child is found deceased, first thing that they want to do, actually, not only with a child, but many times like a spouse, the first thing, and some of you may know it, is yeah, that's right. Very good impression of Waltz. That's right. I'll get into that. Thank you, Denise. I don't know what that means. Miss you on X. I can't get back on. You're not missing anything. I swear you're not missing anything, Dangerous Chickens. I don't think so. But one of the first things they do, look where though, I don't know about that. Dangerous ducks. They don't have pigs, but that doesn't mean a neighbor. Neighbors there's farms around there. So there could be goats, could be horses, could be pigs, could be. I was speaking to someone that has a lot of land in that area. And when one of their animals die, whether it's a cow or a horse or a pig or a goat, they bury them on the property. That's what I was told. But this is someone else that has a farm. But one of the first things they do many times, and again, folks, I'm not trying to be Mr. Know-it-all or anything like that. I learn a lot by following these cases, by riding with police, do a legal segment every week, go to court cases. I know more than a lot of other members of the media. And I really learned that during the Karen Reed case, when a lot of them, they'd never followed a trial before. They had no idea what was going on. So, but one of the first things they do is they will often do a lie detector test with, let's just say, a young child is found dead somewhere. The first thing they want to do is clear the parents, because many times it's stuff from the home. So they'll give the mother, father a lie detector test. That's you the first thing you want to do is clear and say, we know the parents are not involved. Now, if that becomes a problem, John Benet Ramsey, not only will the parents not take a lie detector test, they both hire their own criminal defense attorneys. So many times people fail lie detector tests. I think OJ failed a lie detector test. So that can happen. But the first thing they want to do is you need to clear people. There are sometimes random things like we've talked about. There are. We did that earlier, Amo. I'm just seeing the question. Did you see the video of the AG in Newport? See, that's bad for Peter. It's one of the attorney generals. It's not the AG. Why do you think? Did you find that embarrassing? Thank you, Denise. I did show it at the beginning. That's okay. I'm not even upset. A lot of slaughter farms. Brandy's right. Brandy's brilliant. I'm going to address that, Kevin. Maybe he was interested on this. I find it odd the sisters don't seem adamant the boyfriend is guilty. Maybe they don't know. Maybe they don't want to. But, I'm always suspect. Kevin, I'm not trying to put you on the spot. But when people say, I find it odd, they don't seem adamant he's guilty. Well, I disagree. Again, I don't accept the premise of the question. I find it odd the sisters, they're not adamant he's guilty. Well, maybe they're not positive he is. Maybe they don't know what happened. So Kevin, and I'm not trying to call you out. I'm not. But if they're not sure, if they don't know what happened, why should they be adamant that he's guilty? Maybe they're not sure. Maybe they don't know what happened. Maybe they're just trying to let this thing, let's see where it plays out. So, again, I'm not trying to put you on the spot. Yes, you don't know that. Do we know, Ann Marshall, if any of her family ever met the boyfriend? Yes. Faith has met the boyfriend. And actually, I think Kitty has met him. I think. But we definitely know Faith has met him, which is the other sister. who's terrific. Again, listen, this is torturous for them. Pray for the sisters. Pray for the sisters. And they have other siblings, but they're not. Listen, this is not easy for people, right? Suddenly your life goes on hold. What do I want for them? And I tell them, I want them to sleep. They need to sleep. They need to eat. They need to. You have no idea how long this could go on. No idea. And it's so cruel. It's so brutal. If they're ever in again, I only know that I've interviewed people, prisoners of war or missing in action. Years goes on, still wondering, is it possible they're alive over there in Vietnam? Are they alive over there in Korea? Did they hit their head? Are they living somewhere? Oh my God, it's brutal. Fucking brutal. It is. I think in hindsight, now, young Kylie, things were moving. They do, Janet. But the only way is you have to. This is not a sprint. This is a marathon. This could go on for weeks. This could go on for months. It could. I'm just being realistic. But that's how you have to eat. You have to sleep. I don't know what Kitty does. I had to go into work today. Sometimes work is good because it can take their mind off it. Does no good to just be sitting around the house worrying. Young Kylie. Kylie is my husband's cousin. I am very sorry, Linda. Very, very difficult. Yes. Heather brings up a very good point. It could. Folks, I'm not trying to be doom and gloom. There's a lot of missing people, and there's a lot of unsolved missing people. Things were moving very quickly for young Kylie, very quickly. So I was living with the aunt because the parents are deceased. Suddenly has a boyfriend, and he's older, and she thinks it's great. And one thing they have in common is neither one of them drive. She lives with her aunt. He lives with the grandparents. He's a little bit older. But next thing you know, she's got a child on the way. And then the relationship is not going smoothly. So suddenly they're no longer together as a couple. So I'll say this about Greg Groom, who I do not know, but that's a lot. You're 22, lives with his grandparents, doesn't drive. Okay. Hasn't really, I can't imagine. I don't know what Rehoboth is like on a Friday or Saturday night. If the highlight of the night is walking, whatever the hell it is, a mile and a half or a mile to the Cumberland Farms, it's a little bit limiting, right? Not exactly living crazy, not exactly like sowing his wild oats, so to speak. So meets a girl, a little bit younger, seems to be into him. Obviously something happened, unless we have another Mary and Joseph situation. So now suddenly, not only does he have a girlfriend, he's going to be a father. That's moving pretty fast. Suddenly now the relationship is not in sync. It's not that it bothers me. It limits you, Tracy. Again, now, let me explain. I don't mind a comment like that. Let me explain. I lived in New York City, and there was a period of time, not only did I live there, I had no car. I was one of those people. And, it's not bad, because if you don't have a car payment, you can put that towards your rent. And when we would travel back to Rhode Island, you just rent a vehicle, because we weren't using it all the time. So maybe once a month, rent a vehicle for the weekend. So you don't have to worry about it. And then when I did get a vehicle, you have to, you have to pay to keep it in a garage somewhere. It's expensive. But with where she is, right? You have Kylie was living in Attleboro and North Attleboro. You see the video of where he lived or lives, Greg. I don't see a bus line. It's not like you live in the city and there's people walking by your house. I think it's very limiting. It's very isolating. For some people, they like it, but I don't know how fun it is if you're young, let alone you're young and you don't drive. So she wasn't driving. You become very dependent on other people. Colby, we don't know. No, I know. But Tracy, I don't mind that because then maybe it points it out. It's not that it bothers me, but it's just unusual. Look at that. Ian Marshall lived in Boston, didn't have a vehicle. So I know someone right now living in D.C. that doesn't have a vehicle. Yes, it is, Harvey. Boston is significantly. Very dark, windy roads. But now, granted, that's where then you have these apps. And then people say, now, I heard she didn't meet him on an app. I heard it was just a chance encounter. A couple of guys are hanging out at a playground. A couple of girls, not a lot going on. This sounds like Little House on the Prairie. So, but she had limited options. And housing, lodging apparently was a problem. How much was it a problem? She'd been living in South Attleboro with her aunt and uncle. That's right, Linda. So, I know, Tracy, that's not for me. It's so woodsy. I had to spray bug spray, even though it was during the day. But, and then what are her options? She needs a place to stay. She calls Mama Bear. You can go hang out at Crossroads. There's some homeless guys that'll bang you. I don't know if that's option one. Boy, I'm surprised she didn't jump at that opportunity after the advice from Mama Bear. Kylie, to be honest with you, you can stay at Crossroads if you want to get banged by homeless guy. I mean, I don't think that was the right thing for an 18-year-old. Not really. To be honest with you, Crossroads. Yeah, perfect for an 18-year-old girl. Because there's that's a good place to meet guys that are going places. Tells you the desperation there, Tracy. When you're calling Mama Bear to shack up, yeah, there's a hag bag. Yeah, what could go wrong? An 18-year-old girl just graduated high school staying at Crossroads. Doesn't sound very inviting. I'd take my chances with Greg in the barn in Rehoboth, for Christ's sake. Jesus. But yeah, I know, Ashley. Jesus. What's behind door number 2? Christ. If I ever called someone and they said, well, why don't you stay at Crossroads? My reaction would be, oh, okay, so you don't want to help me. I didn't realize. Just say you don't want to help me, but, why don't you go stay at Crossroads? Oh, okay. Gee, I wish I had fucking thought of that. All right, let's not get crazy here. It is horrible. It is. Thank you, Loretta. Yes. Kylie, to be honest with you, I think you could stay at Crossroads. There's a lot of nice guys there, Kylie. As long as you don't mind men with no jobs who have no teeth. Some people may be into that type of thing. Terrible, Tracy. I know. There's Tommy Bryant. So where are we? I think we're going to have some news this week. I do. I'm not unrealistic. May not be good news, but I think I gotta go to bed. I have a lot of confidence in the Massachusetts State Police. I hear very good things about, I wanted to give him a shout out. There it is. I hear very good things about that detective. Mike Degnan says, should let Ladybug wander around the town. Maybe she'll sense something. At a minimum, she'll discover the hidden. Yeah, that's true. The hidden pot spots. We're getting closer to Ladybug wandering around. We are. I'm not convinced we're there yet. I'll tell you, Ladybug's going to Rehoboth when Jane Rice and Buddy agree to drive her. I hear very good things about Trooper Sabrina and Rehoboth Police Detective Paul McGovern. I do. In all seriousness, I hear very good things about them. Yep. Jane Rice has agreed. That's right, Tracy. Fucking A. Jesus. Huh. We want to help you. Fantastic. We'll give you a ride to Crossroads. We have good news. We want to help you. Great. We'll drive you to Crossroads. Really? What's the good news? That doesn't sound like good news to me. To be honest with you, Kylie. Yes, Jane Rice. She's agreed to drive her. Yep. And I'll be very candid why. If Ladybug rode with me, we'd have missing flyers for someone different than Kylie. I'll tell you that. I have a time limit with LB. I have it's only a certain amount of time that I can put up. Ladybug can be very entertaining. We have her in the bullpen. She's getting up to speed on the case. So very close to arranging a time to bring her out there. Mike Degnan's calling for it. Let her wander around. I like that. She's got the walker. If Jane would be kind enough to drive her out. Yep. Well, to be honest with you, Crossroads. Folks, but you guys should be happy. Look at the patience I showed when that was said. I didn't even react. To be honest with you, Kylie, I think you'd like blow this case over, but true crime. Yes. I don't know. I don't think we're there yet. I don't think we're there just yet. So, but listen, the news tonight, as all these people, I don't understand why the pregnant woman's shelter dropped her off at the abuser's house. Wouldn't you think she told them at some point of their history? That, I'll address that, Elizabeth. Number one, from what I hear, we don't have confirmation that he should be referred to as an abuser. They had a volatile relationship, but we're not there yet where there was physical violence. That's number one. Number two, from what I've been told, that type of shelter, they have guidelines, they have curfews. For whatever reason, something happened, and they told her she could no longer stay there. I'll be the first one. I find it sad that an 18-year-old girl just graduated from high school has to be living in a homeless shelter for pregnant teens, but that's where she was. But for whatever happened, she was unable to follow the rules. Maybe non-intentional, by the way. Maybe she didn't mean to not follow the rules, but she's young, 18 and pregnant, and was not following the rules. So no, Bill, I assure you that's not what you're looking for. So yeah, I assure you of that. Thank you, Donna. Is Ladybug dancing at the Foxy Lady? I don't think Bill's familiar with LB. If she, in fact, had, let me read that, gone to the hospital for vaginal bleeding, she may have lost the baby. If she was no longer with Greg and her feeling to want her, I don't know. There's a lot there, Melissa. You may not be wrong. Let's hope not. You can't rule that out. I didn't realize that. Beds in those shelters are precious. Zero tolerance. All right. Young Kylie doesn't seem like the right type for zero tolerance, to be perfectly honest. So, had some problems with the young. So, but listen, I'll tell you what. I deal with a lot of different people. I really Um, hold on. I really like the sisters, Kitty and Faith. I like them a lot. I deal with a lot of different people. They are trying. This is very difficult to have thrown in your lap, and it just takes off. So I like them. I want to help them. They need to eat and sleep and rest to be able to go through this. You can't do this if you're getting 3 hours of sleep. I would not be able to do this. Many of you that have followed Road Patrol, many times when I've stayed on for very long, extended periods of time, you know, with Cinderella, it was midnight. Had to be home by midnight. I have, a clock, a timer, and then it just goes into a lot of F-bombs, and I just then have no patience. So, but I like them a lot. I feel for them. And if there's a way we can bring awareness to this, and that's what I've been doing actually nonstop since Wednesday. And I get there are some people that are saying, well, this isn't enough of an update. I can't stress this enough. This is not a movie. It's not a TV show. This is real life. Some of the comments are people. They're almost, I'm trying to be kind about it, but they're not almost anything. I see a lot of comments that are uneducated and immature. How much longer is she going to be missing? It's not a game of hide and go seek. This isn't scavenger hunt. Somebody's out there. They don't know. The police are working on it. Sorry if this is an inconvenience for the people demanding to know. We're doing everything we can, and even on my end. But anyhow, very, very frustrating. Yes. Let me read that. Jocelyn. I think the very frustrating part is this consent investigation, and I can't imagine the anger, sadness. True. Yes, I know. But also, prayers for the sisters, Suzanne. I like that. So, we're not there yet. Yeah, I know. We're not there yet. John knows Vinny. I do know Vinny very well. I talked to Julie Grant last week. I'm set with court TV for the Brian Walsh trial. So we're not there yet. This is not a matter of that. Right now, I'm not saying you can't turn into that. But, folks, a lot of this stuff, that's when there's already a process. A lot of court TV, Nancy Grace, not all, Nancy Grace more, but a lot of some of these shows, it's once someone has been charged and then you have a case. That's not the case right now. So it's not Ian Marshall. Ian Marshall's great. I'll get that. Kelly, I will send that to Vinny. I will. So I spent a lot of time with Vinny. So good. Robin, as long as Robin is happy. So to be honest with you, Kylie, I was thinking, you could sleep at fucking Crossroads. To be honest with you, Kylie, Crossroads. When I finished the live that night, I was like, Crossroads? Are you people out of your fucking mind? What? Good God. Jesus. Look at them out in front. They'd pounce on her. I don't think she'd make it inside. Jesus. There's an 18-year-old white girl outside. Vroom. God almighty. You can have my, vodka. I got some cannabis for us. Jesus. It is not, Jocelyn. It's not. That's not true. Corey, they were searching on Friday, and it's limited on Saturday as well. So thank you, Diane. Do people appreciate the humor? I don't think we've gotten any super subs on YouTube tonight. We are building up on YouTube. Our platforms, folks, we just hit 100,000 on Facebook. I also want some of you to know, well, like what makes me different than some of the others? We have over 100,000 followers on Facebook. And actually, between my personal page that has 14,000 followers and then the show page, we're 114,000. I have over 114,000 followers on TikTok. And we're almost at 70,000 for YouTube. So in X, I'm not on as much anymore. In Instagram's almost 60,000. So I'm posting in all of those. I'm not going to vent about X. Thank you, Kelly Jackson. We need comic relief. To be honest with you, Robin's great. It's not easy. It's not easy. Because I do have the people, you're going to be riding to the... Listen, we ride to find a story. I've already explained it. We have a story. I'm not jumping off the story. People sending me messages. How much longer are you going to go with that? Listen, I'll know when I feel like I don't want to talk about it tonight and there's nothing really to say, then we're not going to talk about it. But thank you. I appreciate that. There we go. There's my YouTube family. There we go. Yes. Makes me happy. That woman isn't right that her daughter talking in circles. Yeah, crossroads is. Can you imagine, Tina? An 18-year-old girl. God almighty. Thank you, Jocelyn. Yeah. I'm telling you, I've done stand-up. I've written comedy. That's really one of the things. And it's not for everyone, by the way. Because some people like, what's all this joking around? Like I'm supposed to be, listen, we're out with the police. Those of you that watch Road Patrol, there's some, not all the time. A lot of times, a lot of laughs in the neighborhood. So it should be. This is a heavy subject, but then we find interesting people as we go along. That's right, Heather. Said Mama Bear at Crossroads. I feel good when I've spoken to both sisters recently, privately. And I wasn't trying to, but they both were laughing. So, and they both said, wow, that felt good. Because it does feel good to laugh. This is tough. This is really challenging. Can you imagine, Tina? I'd be like, what? Crossroads? What? Fucking A. Like, there's got to be. You listen, you're better off with a sleeping bag in the garage. Crossroads. At least then, like, fucking no way. That's why, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm really not trying to be mean. But, yeah, she did get mouthy. She did. She got mouthy in the chat. I could have them back on. Thank you, Tracy. Tracy's great. Tracy Montero is an inspiration. I'm not trying to go on a rant here, folks, because I actually have more work to do. There's another case that I'm dealing with that there are people, and it's terrible. There's a woman, she's super nice, and her and her boyfriend, they contacted me. Her daughter is very attractive. And up until 3 months ago, the daughter was relatively fine and normal and young. I think 22, 23. But she is now, the daughter is hooked on crack. And it is a mess. And I've been working the past couple of days and I'm trying to help them. But it's very difficult. I won't even get into some of the details are just horrendous. And I give her so much credit. You'll meet her at some point. You know what? I'll have her on. Will we have a happy ending? But I spent a good part of Saturday on that, and a good part of today on that. So, and I feel bad for people because they run into brick walls and they run into red tape and they run into people that are supposed to help them. And then they reach out to me and say, can you help me? No one's helping me. And I feel terrible about it. So she is so terrific. And her daughter, I'm really trying to help her. We have to get her off the street. She's an attractive girl. Oh my God. But these places, there's a place in Pawtucket, they give them free crack pipes. Some of the people that work there are terrible. Some of the guys that work there then take advantage and having sex with her behind the building. Oh my God. It's just horrible. But I can't, I'm trying to juggle so much. But one last thing. Yeah, Christina's father. Christina could have been in tonight. I know they're upset, but they gotta like keep it together. Addiction is terrible. Juanita. But I know, like there's other things. I mean that about like the garage. Like if someone said, here are our options. She either has a sleeping bag in the garage, on a beach chair, or Crossroads. That's the last place you want to go. You do not want to end up in a place like that. No way. And I do. I'm in contact. Some of my sources are homeless people. But the homeless people that I am in contact with very quickly and I encourage them. They're trying to work their way out of it. I help one of them get a job. So, I know of a couple of people. They act as sources for me. They're out there. I mean, it's terrible. They sleep in their car. I gave them there's a, I'm not going to say his name because I'm not trying to embarrass him. He's trying, but he doesn't have money. He's made a lot of mistakes, but he's working. He's working a lot. I said, you don't have time to be homeless. So I gave him a suggestion. He's following it. Let's see if it stays. He sleeps in a parking lot. He does, but in his car. It's not a great car, but it gets him to work. And I gave him $10. He has a membership at Planet Fitness, and they let him shower there in the morning. And then he can shower there in the afternoon or at night. And he's working. At least he tells me he is. So, but my point is, like, that's not a place you send an 18-year-old girl. It's just not. So anyhow, I know. Yes, she was with the aunt. I don't know. There's a lot of things with that. All right, folks. Now listen, the vigil is Saturday night, so we're going to promote that all week. We're going to, you want to keep good thought, prayers. I'm praying for the sisters, obviously little Kylie, but also for the first responders. This is not easy. All the people involved. Yes. Where do you meet her? Alicia. She is so nice. Her and the boyfriend. It's torturous. They go down there and have to see her. They're trying. I'm trying to point them in the right direction. Got to try to help some of these people. And here's part of the problem. You have places that Governor McKee, where they give out crack pipes, and then he has the safe injection center where they go and they test it. So they like that to me, they're enabling these people. They're enabling them. Oh, here's a free crack pipe. And here you can go and we'll test it to make sure it's pure. What are you, Hunter Biden? That's not helping. All right. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, everybody. Yes. All right. Keep a good thought. Keep a good thought.